Hey, you guys, happy weekend. But give me a second. Let me grab my tea. Okay? Let me grab my green tea. I hope y'all having a blessed day. I hope y'all having a blessed day. Um I have something I want to share with you guys. It's really important. And what oops what made me think of it is Rodney's um surgery, right? Rodney's surgery. Okay? So my daughter and I brought this up earlier in the week. And this is something that I think not only seniors, but I think everybody should kind of have this in place. And what it is a advanced directive. And this advanced directive, I have it already, in which I need to give my 3 children, adult children, copies of it. I also need to give a copy to my doctor and to my hospital that I usually go to if I ever needed like surgeries or whatever. But anyway, this would be on file also for the state that I live in. And this Maryland Advanced Directive is planning for future healthcare decisions, right? Your wishes. This will list any things to, I just own my scalp, y'all. This will list any things to honor your wishes if you were ever in the hospital. It's for adults, you guys. It's for all adults. You don't know when you're going to have an unexpected end of life situation. You know what I'm saying? And so, and that can happen at any age. So this is a healthcare directive, and it will be on file at your hospital, and it allows providers to follow your wishes if you are ever in a hospital. It doesn't have to be end of life, but if you were ever in a hospital and unable to communicate. You know how people be in the hospital and something happens and the doctors are asking the family members, what do you think their wishes are? And et cetera, and et cetera. If you have this guide with all the forms, and this is a packet, all the forms filled out, your doctor, the hospital, the state would know your wishes. And they would have to honor your wishes because this is a legal document. Okay? Now, seniors, come on now. We know we need to, especially I'm talking to seniors right now. We know we need to have these things set in place. You know, also, my group of ladies that I communicate with, that's my age and above, I mean, all the way up to like 90 or whatever. But us senior women, I hear so many senior women say they haven't spoken to their adult children. Their adult children don't speak to them, or they don't talk to them, or they don't see them. They don't see the grands, and they're upset and they get mad. You know, how dare them? I didn't raise them to be this way. Inconsiderate, blah, blah, blah. Not just inconsiderate, but selfish. And, I didn't raise them to be that way, where these women talk about they don't have any connection with their adult children because their adult children are living their lives and don't really chat, talk, or give almost a hootie squat. So these women are, a lot of them are upset. And I said to them, I said, you know what? That is more so the reason. That is more so the reason why you should live your life as best you can. You know, a lot of times they may be adulting, they may have other stuff on their plate. They may have, I mean, it's no excuse not to check in every now and then with your parents. You know what I'm saying? But um they may have things on their plate, or they're not thinking of you as getting older, and they may still see you being that 30. So I don't, look, y'all, I'm not making excuses because I really don't even know why, but they are. I think all, mostly at times, I think some adult moms may feel that way. And that is more so the reason why you should go out and do your thing. That is more so the reason why you should go out, find friends, that you have a circle of friends, or find a boyfriend. Or like me, I have a fiance, and in my senior years, I want to have someone, you know what I'm saying? And I'd like to. If I don't, that's fine. I was okay before I even met Rodney. But now it's like, we can share in that. He's here for me 100%, y'all. 100%. And I'm there for him. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have to be under the same roof to do this, right? But it helps. It helps when you have no one else, or you may not have friends, or you may not have uh girlfriends, or you may not have a partner, or you may not have a boyfriend, and then you leaving your door open, and your qualm is, how come my children aren't connected to me? Because you may be lonely, or you get lonely. More so the reason why you should do your own thing if you're able to. you know Let them live their life, whatever. But do your own thing. Do the things that's going to make you happy. If you have to do it alone, do it alone. If you want to travel, travel alone. You know what I'm saying? Just do the things that's going to make you happy. You can't rely on your adult children to make you happy. I mean, of course, you love them, and you love seeing them, and you love seeing your grands because you adore them. But you can't rely on that to make you happy. You need to find your own happiness. But in an interim, in the meantime, you need to have this directive in place because it honors your wishes. Like for me, for instance, I don't want a feeding tube down my throat when I'm awake. I don't want to have that down my throat, and I'm awake and have this no. Your advanced directive will spell out what you want and what you don't want, regardless of, like, let's say you have your children, and all they want to do is keep you alive, and they want you here. But the doctor says we need to put a feeding tube down her throat, and I'm awake, and this and that, and they put this big old tube down my throat, and no, 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 no. My directives will specifically state that no to that. If that's going to happen, or if that needs to happen, then I need to be sedated and I need to be out. You know what I'm saying? Not awake. But important, okay? Okay, y'all. Your state has an advanced directive, and it plans for your future healthcare decisions. Okay, these are legal papers that tell doctors and family members what kind of medical care a person wants before they get too sick to decide. These papers help make sure the person gets the care they want and doesn't get care they don't want. If a doctor ignores this guide to healthcare decisions and the forms and everything in there, planning for you, if a doctor ignores that, that's grounds for a lawsuit. Okay. And there's something else. There's also living wills. Okay. And y'all know, look, I'm an analyst, and that's why y'all hear me talk about so many things, because um I have a lot of foresight, and I can overthink sometimes, because I mean, professionally I was an analyst. So yeah, I can overthink. But I have foresight, so my projection is to resolve things and see things ahead before, and come up with resolutions and solutions before that thing happens. You know what I'm saying? So I have the foresight, you know, which is why at times I be in my own head. Like, I ain't know, man, bro. I ain't get married. Nobody, true, but I do all that. But honestly, y'all, only God knows the future. I don't know the future. All I can do is state what my desires are at the moment of how I want the future to go. But I don't know it. Y'all understand? Okay, now let me explain this. So living wills are a type of advance directive. Okay, this is an advance directive, the guide to your state's law on healthcare decisions with all the forms and stuff. So this is an advance directive, right? So living wills are a type of advance directive. Advance directives refer to any legal form guiding your future medical care, and living wills refer to specific documents that shape end of life treatment. So not all advance directives are living wills, but all living wills are advance directives. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some differences between the two, and then I'm gonna move on and talk about another important aspect. Okay, so I don't want to read a whole lot to you guys, but let me just read some of this, okay? The differences between the two. So the difference between an advance directive and living wills, okay? This is advance directive here. You might confuse living wills and advance directives because living wills are a type of advance directive. Advance directives refer to any legal form guiding your future medical care, and living wills refer to specific documents that shape end of life treatment. So not all advance directives are living wills, but all living wills are advance directives. Many living wills address questions generally reserved for advance directives, but if they're presented on a will and not the correct advance directive form, physicians won't consider the document legally binding. For example, you can turn down resuscitation on a living will, but since that isn't a legally binding DNR, doctors may ignore it. The proper forms often depend on state policy. The difference between an advance directive and living will. Living wills and advance directives outline medical preferences in the case of an emergency. However, they go about it in slightly different ways. Advance directives aren't limited to terminal illnesses. You can use multiple advance directives but only one living will. Religious terms. You can use multiple, religious terms. Living wills may contain religious or burial preferences. Accessibility. Practitioners may have a faster access to directives than wills. Okay. What is a living will? A living will sets out the medical treatments you want after becoming incapacitated. It also allows you to state what types of medical care you don't want. Undesired treatments can include dialysis, going on a ventilator, and other life-preserving care. Unlike a last will and testament, living wills don't contain provisions for your assets. Okay? Living will forms address healthcare choices near the end of a patient's life. For example, using a feeding tube if you can no longer feed yourself, accepting resuscitation if your heart stops beating, going through treatment for a terminal illness, the length of time you like your life prolonged. That would be in a living will. Okay? Now remember, the advance directive are legal papers that tell doctors and family members what kind of medical care you want, right? Before they get too sick to decide. That's what this advance directive is. It's different from a living will. Okay? So y'all just go ahead and do your research and make sure you do both, okay? Excuse me. Types of living wills and alternative names. Depending on your state, living wills might go by another name, such as medical directives. And this probably has everything in there that can still be almost like a living will, y'all. Okay? Advanced healthcare directives. That's what this is. Okay? So this is also a type of living will. Living will uses and limitations. Living wills, and I think this has everything in it that a living will would. Living wills focus on terminal illnesses, permanent unconsciousness, and cognitive decline. As a general theme, they come into play when recovery isn't likely or possible. Okay? Your recovery can be possible. It doesn't mean you're going to die or recover, right? This is just the medical care you want and don't want. So, living wills are when recovery isn't likely or possible. They describe treatments patients do and don't want in those circumstances, like when you're about to pass. And I guess it also includes like hospice care and things like that, y'all. But, just these are things, look, y'all, we're not going to live forever, right? So I just started thinking about all these things when I was talking about Rodney surgery and things like that, and stuff for my children to know. You know what I'm saying? Any event like my advance directive have a primary person to make the decisions, and then the two. So the primary are my children and any other two. You know what I'm saying? To make like the decisions and things for me. So my primary is my son, and then my two daughters are the next two, So all three of them would make the decisions pertaining to me if I'm not married, But primary, my son, and then my two daughters. So the three of them will make all the decisions. They will let me say they'll honor this. They'll honor this because I have this in place. My wishes, okay? But that's what I want to, I'm not going to get into all of this with you guys, but I will put this link below so that you can read it. All right. And you can pick up, I think every your doctor's office have these. They should have these, So when you go for your annual or you go to the doctor's office for whatever reason, you can ask for your state's advance directive, a copy of it, and they can give you a copy of it. You can fill it out and then give it back, give it to your doctor, and then give it to the hospital that you're affiliated with. So they'll have it. And then you can also get a wallet size card. It's like a wallet size that talks about, that says that you have one on file, and you can have that in your wallet. Right? And it would tell whatever hospital, whatever you're at, that you have an advance directive on file for your state, and they can pull it and they can look at it. Okay, y'all? So important. So important to know what kind of care you want in the event you're sick and what you don't want. Because like I said, they can resuscitate, they can resuscitate me, but if I'm going to be in a vegetative state, or I'm brain dead and things like that, then no, you know what I'm saying? Let me go. Let the Lord call me home. Or, if we're talking about a breathing tube, a breathing tube is fine, go up here, but a feeding tube, that stuff all down your throat and you're wide awake, and oh no, I don't want that, If you need to do that, then sedate me, have me sleep. Just want to be awake. If it calls for me to be awake, then let me go home. But okay, y'all. So the next thing I want to talk about is, but it's important to have that. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, and especially seniors, is long-term care. Okay, long-term care options means that you can live in your home. I mean, it's an insurance program and you pay into it, right? And like the federal government, we have it, right? Long-term care program. And if you're not affiliated with the feds or your employer or whatever, government positions or whatever you have, or private industry, look and see, check with your human resources department and see if they have long-term care options, and you can pay into that for how many, as long as you want, right? And if you don't have any, AARP has one. Okay, so let me tell you what long-term care options are. Okay, y'all, and I'm gonna read something to you that I already spoke to y'all about. This will have you where you stay in your home as long as you can, and not a nursing home. It's like where you stay in your home, and if you need caregivers, they will come to your home and things like that. It will keep you in your home as long as possible. Okay. So let me just read some of this. You'll take an important first step toward long-term peace of mind. The information it contains can help you begin to understand your options and start preparing for the future. You've worked hard to save for retirement and for a secure future for you and your family, but even the most detailed financial strategy may not be enough to prepare you for the high cost of long-term care, which include nursing homes. A need for this care could affect both you and your family finances. Addressing it now may help you maintain your lifestyle and minimize the impact on those you love and your assets. Okay? Remember I talked about that last week, right? So these long-term care options, let me tell you this. What is long-term care? Long-term care is a help you may need if you're unable to perform basic everyday tasks on your own, such as eating and bathing. As you age, you may start to consider how you would address a possible long-term care event. There are many factors to consider when deciding which path to help protect your future and work best for you. Care can be provided in a variety of settings. Depending on the amount of care needed, it may be provided on a part-time basis by a family member or home health worker. And if your family member is helping do all of that for you, they can also be paid, to do that. But they have home health care, assisted living facility, a nursing home, adult daycare. So most Americans turning 65 today can expect to use some form of long-term care during their lives, okay? It's just going to happen. 90% of those receiving long-term care today live at home or in a community setting. How much does care cost? The cost of care depends on where you live and the type of care needed. It's common for a person to use a combination of different resources to meet their needs over time. And since few people know their long-term care needs in advance, it makes sense to consider the cost of care now to help protect your assets. So for a home health aide, it's $20.50 per hour. Assisted living facility, $43,536 per year. Skilled nursing home, $92,376 per year. Didn't I tell y'all that? When I was talking about nursing home. So this is even like for married couples. I mean, if you look into getting a long-term care program, okay? So I'm just going to do this briefly. Prepare for long-term care now. Protect your ability to choose and ensure you have options. Protect your finances, protect your family, protect your ability to get coverage. And I'm going to say this last thing, and then y'all can look at this stuff on your own, okay? So how will I pay for care? An unexpected need for long-term care services can disrupt even the best laid financial strategies, and many don't realize that these services are generally not covered by health insurance or government programs until they or a loved one need care. Y'all hear me? Long-term care coverage can help protect your savings and the burden on your family. A variety of options are available, including long-term care insurance and life insurance that allows you to use part of the death benefit in advance to help pay for care over an extended period of time. Being prepared can also ease the significant impact care has on family and the physical, emotional, and financial toll it takes. Okay? Percentage of caregivers who work while also caregiving, 61%. Percentage of caregivers who have experienced at least one financial impact as a result of caregiving, 45%. 78% of family caregivers incur out-of-pocket expenses as a result of caregiving, spending an average of $7,000 per year. Now listen to this, is what I told y'all last week. Medicare doesn't cover extended care. Medicare may cover only a maximum of 100 days in services per benefit period after a hospital stay. Medicaid, when you need that, so suppose you're in the hospital longer than 100 days, right? So Medicaid requires that assets be depleted first. And this is what I talked about last week. This is the maximum amount of countable assets applicants may have in their name in order to qualify for Medicaid, which is any type of nursing home stay extended beyond 100 days. Okay? Because it says Medicare doesn't cover extended care. They only cover a maximum of 100 days of services per benefit period after a hospital stay. So I would imagine that benefit period to be a year. But look into that, you guys. Let me read this again. Medicaid, which I spoke of last week, requires that assets be depleted first. This is the maximum amount of countable assets applicants may have in their name in order to qualify for Medicaid, which we're talking about long-term nursing home care, okay? For individuals, $2,000. Countable assets in order to qualify for Medicaid. Individuals, $2,000. For married couples, $3,000. Y'all think y'all married and going to be protected? Y'all better look. Come on now. I'm trying to school y'all. Self-funding is expensive. With the high cost of care, savings and assets can be depleted quickly, leaving little for a spouse to live on or family members to inherit, which is where long-term care options, long-term care insurance comes into play. Like I said, we have this coverage with the federal government. You have to apply for it, and then you have to, and then they get see whether they accept your application, and then you pay monthly. Okay. The same thing here with AARP. If you don't have it, AARP has such a program. If you're seniors, go ahead and sign up for AARP. Pay that. What is it a year? $24 a year, whatever the case may be, and then ask about this because they do have this program as well. And you know AARP is excellent for seniors. Okay, let me read a little bit more and then I'm done. You have many options. You have many options when it comes to funding long-term care. Long-term care insurance is one of them. When considering this option, keep in mind that policies are underwritten and you must health qualify. See what I said? You have to qualify for it. That's why it makes sense to apply for coverage sooner rather than later. Because if you apply for coverage sooner, like before you get sick and all of that stuff, you will already have this in place when you do become sick, right? Generally, long-term care premiums are lower if coverage is purchased at a younger age. You can potentially save a significant amount of money on premiums over the life of the policy by not waiting. So, let's say you purchase it, the premiums, let's say you purchase at 25 and then it's going all the way up to 75, right? Average lifetime cost, $172,000 is the average lifetime cost of long-term care. All right, you want a personalized approach, and that could include, you may want to make smaller monthly payments. Okay, let's see this. When preparing for the future, you aren't limited to one type of protection or the other. You may find that a combination of coverage choices is your best option, and a little coverage can be better than none. Whether you want to make smaller monthly payments or prefer to pay one lump sum, we have flexible coverage options to fit your budget. So AARP has New York Life that can help by providing customized recommendations based on your personal situation. And they could include long-term care insurance, annuities, chronic care insurance riders, hybrid insurance policies, and investments, okay? So y'all, look into this, okay? Choosing New York Life, that's what AARP uses. They have like a A++ highest rating, AM Best. They have triple A highest rating, Fitch. They have highest rating, Moody's Investor Service, all A's, double A+, second highest rating, Standards, and Poor. These are the companies, right? And they got all these A ratings, right? So, and they've been around since 1845. That's if you don't have like the program or have this with your job. You could check with your HR department. But if you're a senior and you want to think about long-term care and you want to stay in your home as long as you can, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to have to be going to a nursing home or doing anything like that, and you have these things in place. You can have the aides come to you and and take care of you while you're in your home. Government wants you in your home as long as you can anyway, because that's less money that they got to put out for someone, Okay, y'all. Thought I'd share that. Because I was just thinking about it. I hinted on it and talked about it last week, right? But then, with baby's surgery and stuff like that, it just makes you even think about these things even more. Because let's say you need someone to come to your home. My insurance covers like nurses or whoever to come to your home like after surgery or whatever, and you got to come home and for rehabilitation services and everything. My health insurance covers that and all. I'm not sure if a lot of other people's do, but or don't. But that is definitely something also that you can look into or you're paying into, So I hope I shared some information with you guys. I hope you can use that. Oiled my scalp. You can see I oiled my scalp. But yeah, that just had me thinking about it. Babe having his surgery. I'm going to go over there and spend a few days with him after he have his surgery. His surgery is only supposed to be short, like 15-minute procedure or whatever. But I'll hop on over there just to spend some time with him. He's gonna be fine. He'll be fine. Just go hang out, pretty much. But okay, y'all. So I hope the information was useful to you all and you could use it. But definitely, this planning for future healthcare decisions is for everyone. Okay, not just seniors, because you don't know if you're going to be in that situation. So love, peace, and in Christ, y'all. Bye.